Alright, just got a GME AEM7 AM FM radio antenna here, so gonna chuck it on quickly. I'm just making a quick little video because there isn't a ton on this antenna on YouTube. Yeah, so first things first, I just got to take the rust back on this hole, thanks to my King sand flag, so I'll sand that back, paint it, let it dry, and then we'll whack the antenna in. Alright, so we added a bit of paint. Looks a bit crap, but the base of the antenna will cover it up. While it's still drying, I'm going to run the antenna cable. I've got a grommet that goes through the firewall over there, and then going to go like that. Okay, so I've removed the rubber grommet, which is here, and that's the hole. And so I've pushed the coax cable through the grommet, and now I just need to push the coax through the hole and reinstall the grommet. So you can see the coax cable going through the grommet. If you walk around here, there's our guy. So that's the coax cable. Next step is to pull apart the shroud for the stereo and plug her in the back. I recommend these molding removers. They're great for like kick panels, also door cards, all sorts of stuff. I've had these for years. They were cheap as, and they always seem to come in handy when doing like a cab sort of install. You can do it with a screwdriver, but then you risk kind of breaking things. Alright, with the shroud removed, you just got to take out your stereo and find the coax port on the back. Okay, so after consulting the manual for my stereo, I found that this, I believe, is the FM AM antenna connector. So I'm going to test that by unscrewing it here, and then powering on the radio and seeing what the hell happens, basically. So I'm just going to do it as is right now to confirm that it works, and I'll take the key out, unscrew this, and then check the radio again. Powering up.
Very strong housing overall.
That's the AM radio station I was listening to before. Alright. Just swapped unplugged the antenna connector. And it's quiet. Yep. No radio. Cool, so that's our radio port. So I guess the next problem is I have to run this cable, which is the new antenna, through here somewhere and get it to the back of the stereo coming out up here somewhere. So I might have to take this panel off. So we verified that that is the AM radio port. Now we should verify that the new antenna works. So this is where the tricky part of this install, not really tricky, but basically to mount this to your bull bar or bracket, this stud comes off and the O-ring. So you see how it's loose? You take it all apart. Do that quickly. Then let's take it all apart. You've got the stud, the O-ring, the sort of base, and then the rubber washer. So my understanding is that this comes in through the bottom and then that all goes on top, and then you screw the antenna on. So I guess you just have to think about the best way to put this whole bit through. Probably like that, so it gets a good grip. You can see the paint's still a bit tacky. But ideally this metal bit will also, make some metal contact. Alright, so then we pop on a rubber washer. And we'll put on the rest of the bits and the stud. Alright, so it's all finger tight back in. You got stud or nut, the O-ring, the base, and the washer. And then we can just nip that up with a spanner and then put the antenna on. We've got crazy tight, but we will do it up a little bit just to give that O-ring a nice squish. Yep. So, O-ring squished, base is solid. Alright, then we can grab your antenna and screw it on. So that's pretty solid, I reckon.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Okay, seeing this made me realize I want to run this cable underneath the grill properly so it's not sticking out with the spotlight cables, so I'm going to take it all out and do it again. So if you're going to do this properly, you should probably not do what I did and do what I'm doing now. Start with your antenna, and I'm going to run mine underneath the grill following the spotlight cables, so it's out of the way and nice and permanent. Put it through there, and then then we'll test it. Alright, so the new aerial is just screwed on like that. It's pretty sturdy, wouldn't have any issues with that coming loose. This guy is plugged in. That's the new antenna. And moment of truth, we will see if we get radio.
Mustard
Hell yeah.
features in complementary medicines as well.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
The chemicals in mustard actually have antimicrobial properties.
Fascinating stuff. It always is.
Mustard, how good. Thanks, ABC. Yeah, so that's the sort of quick and dirty of it. I will have to run this lead sort of up through the dash to get it to pop out here and then just put it all back together. If you're going to be thorough, which would be smart, I'm going to pop some split Coro tubing on this guy, just on this outside part and where it might potentially rub against the fender before it comes through there, just so it's nice and protected while it's on the outside of the car. Alright, chuck some split Coro tubing on there so it looks nice and neat. And then as you can see, that fresh Coro tubing, there we go. Yeah, won't rub on it and I can zip tie it all together. So I'll probably get this all sort of buttoned up in here, push all the slack through to the other side, and work on the inside. Okay, what I have done to make the cable run easier is just pushed a random cord I had down from the top. And now I'm taping it to it and I'll pull it back up. Alright, got it through. I reckon I will plug it into the stereo, sort of rest the stereo in place, test it one more time, and then button it all up, zip tie everything, put all the trim back, put my grill back on, all that stuff. Alright, the cable run's complete. Got some split tubing on the cable here, going under the bumper, so you can see it following the spotlight and through there, following this sort of part here. It's all zip tied along here, comes up here, and then goes to the firewall and runs along the back. Comes along here, and then down and into the car. And the interior is back together, so the cable comes through there, so it goes under the dash and into the stereo. So I just need to throw my grill back on and then job done. Grill's on. All done.